This is absolutely one of Kendra G's worst calls. And what makes it even worse than what you guys are going to watch right here is that she attempted to delete the live stream after getting all this criticism. This young gentleman, Poppy Dan, 1991, is going to explain how he was pretty much SA, and Kendra G does not believe him whatsoever.
Shout out to the Do Better podcast. So many people have asked me to check this out. Let's get it.
Shameful. Let's get into it.
Papa Dan.
Papa Dan.
Yeah, Papa Dan.
Papa Dan?
Yeah. It's my company, my business. But yeah.
Say
So
what,
I've been
sir?
on your show before. Yeah, I've been on your show before, like back in 2022 when you first got
3
it.
years ago.
Yeah, a little minute ago. Yeah. So then I was back when I was in Florida. I live in St. Louis now, so.
We've grown so much. We got the Kendra.
He's like, I was here 2 years ago. I'm back now, and we're both still single. Let's keep watching.
We got a dating app. So you want to do it again?
I'm here to try again. Different city, new people, you know what I mean? So let's go for it.
Let's go for it. What's your name, sir? You said Pop. So what am I going to call you?
You can call me Daniel, Papa Dan. That's
Daniel.
No.
Daniel, and you're in St. Louis now?
St. Louis now.
How old are you?
33, going on 34.
Okay, and what's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Pisces, March 5th, baby.
Okay. You have any kids?
I have a son.
How old is your son?
He's going to be 2. He's another Pisces, just like his daddy.
Why are you not with the mama?
He's March 10th.
Why are you not with the mama? You had a baby since you've been on my show, too.
Yeah. Another person trying to run the system, trying to take advantage, you know.
She raped you?
Yeah, you can say that. We won't, as a man, I can't really run with that narrative because nobody will really believe it. But yeah, I put it on the Bible that that's what happened. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm still an accountable adult. Still got to do what I have to do in this world, you know, because that is my prodigy. So never.
You can almost see that on Kendra G's face right off the bat. She didn't believe him. Just imagine, because this, you know, only chicks can get away with this. Only chicks can get away with this. Right off the bat. Men, in most cases, they train men in society when a woman says, oh, I got raped, to make sure you keep a straight face. Even when you think, yeah, what happened? Right? When you want to know more. Let's keep listening.
Nevertheless, how he got here, that's what we doing.
I need the details of how you got raped by the girl.
How many times has Kendra G talked to women who've come onto her show and said that they've been assaulted in some type of manner? Name me the number of times when Kendra G says, hey, okay, well, explain to me your great mental note.
She is not a citizen of America. So naturally, if you've been in America illegally, you know, you're going to try to do your best to try to stay. And in your mind and way of thinking, not even if you ask any of your homegirls that's international too, they'll tell you, ain't a good idea to just, go up and sleep with an American dude and just try to have a baby so you can try to stay in America, hoping he will marry you. That's what they be hoping they gonna marry you. No, they ain't gonna get Papa Dan. No, won't gonna get me.
So he was messing with a chick who needed a green card.
Papa Dan, so I wanted to explain your side.
What's up?
With all that being said, you still have to willingly have, this is why I said, because that's the only way a woman could trap you. Right. But if you willingly had sex with her, then you participated. So did you willingly have sex with her?
I mean, she got me. I used to make wine back then. So like I said, on the level of accountability,
she Bill Cosby you? She gave you a pill?
For me, I can say on a level of accountability, you know, when a woman wraps their legs around you in the process of you being on top, and you trying to relinquish yourself from the situation, and she's saying, no, dude, you ain't going nowhere. You going to have my baby. And in that moment as a dude, you're like, all right, well, shit, we going to do plan B like we normally do.
Right.
And then she looked at me like, no, we ain't doing that neither. So, you know, I was like.
Okay, so again, so she's letting you know all this in the act. And
Damn, Kendra. Kendra's like the attorney arguing against the grape case. Right? Like, why is she so hell-bent on trying to prove that he wasn't instead of asking, okay, give me more information? I could definitely see why she deleted this video. It looks bad. All right, so the guest here on Kendra G's show is saying, hey, I messed with this chick. I know that she wants to take advantage of me. She needs a green card, right? She's not a citizen. So this isn't somebody who he even sees genuine interest in, they don't have like extreme, really good compatibility when it comes to shared values, so on and so forth. She just wants to capitalize on an opportunity, and I peeped that. Okay, cool. Where did he mess up at? He messed up because he did not wrap it up and protect himself. And people like to act like that's an impossible thing to do, but you know, now you're dealing with a child who, I wish the best. It is what it is. But it wasn't planned, and it definitely is going to add challenges to this man's life. That's not what this video is about. Let's move on from that. And then you have Kendra G here pretending like women do not take advantage of men when it comes to them using their seed to get something. It's not always a relationship or them trying to secure a marriage. Sometimes it's just child support. I mean, we just finished a topic featuring Anthony Edwards here, where he's dealing with the one situation with the adult star, same thing, irresponsible decisions. They're both to blame. But we see exactly what's going on in that situation. And in this situation, we see the same thing. And people are afraid to call that out. In this situation, it's a lot more obvious. When a woman wraps her legs around you and you're saying, no, I don't want to have a child with you, but she's locking her legs so that you bust inside of her, that's taking advantage. And if you're sitting there going, nah, it's just part of the experience, let me ask you this question. What if the man did that to the woman? What if he could do that? Because we know that at the end of the day, the chick could just go take a plan B. But what if it was the type of situation where, let's say, a lot of people don't know this, she's on her ovulation. A lot of people don't know this, but plan Bs don't work when you're ovulating, right? So what if he catches her around that time? He knows what time it is. In her cycle, and he does that to her. She's like, no, wait, I don't want to have a kid. I don't want this. Please don't do this. He's like, no, you're going to have my kid. And he forces her to have it. Most people, society would look at that and say he took advantage of her, especially if following that, it was clear that she found that forceful and did not like that at all. I can definitely see why Kendra G deleted this video from her channel.
Women's right, her body, her choice.
Exactly. So here's the deal: her body, her choice. But you can decide not to put your body inside her body. That
very
was your
well
choice.
so, and that's the level of accountability that I have in the situation. I used to be a winemaker. She got me drunk off my own supply. I don't ever drink my own supply. 13% alcohol content. She said, "Ooh, Daniel, come and drink this wine with me in the room. I'm gonna bring a glass." And I ain't trying to, but my dumb self did what it did, and that's just the level of accountability I have for it. So here we are today, trying to hope and pray we can find a wholesome woman that could treat your boy right. Somebody with some knowledge on her side that has been through the trenches and know how tough it is in this dating pool that got all the piss in it,
Look at her face, bro.
We're all a work in progress out here,
Look at her face.
That's the story you really want to tell? So that's the story you really going with?
I'm going to say you put the words in my mouth when you initially said.
Oh, you were supposed to. Hold on. I was being.
What's that?
I said that. No, hold on real quick. I said that because you said a woman trapped you. So sarcastically, I said, oh, she you. Right. And then you said yes.
Why would you sarcastically say that? I'm telling you, women like this, they can't fathom that women assault men. Women assault men every single day, just like there's piece of shit men out here who assault women. You can see that obviously one way with men doing it to women, but she can't see it the other way. Like you don't see women every single day being arrested for being high school teachers, getting impregnated by high school boys. This happens every single day.
You know what? A man can never be a damsel in distress.
Facts.
Because at the end of the day, we're supposed to be masculine. We're not supposed to have feelings. But in the whole light of the situation, when we had the pre-conversation about kids, I didn't want to have kids at that time.
So here's the deal. Okay.
Wow. So they even had the conversation. Yeah, she took advantage.
If you don't want to have kids at times, then your responsibility is A, you don't have sex with her because you don't want to have kids. B, you wear a condom to protect yourself from having kids. Yeah. And we can have the grown folks. There is a grown folks pull out game. So my thing is, regardless of what she said, you are still a man that has to take accountability for participating in the
like
activity.
I've already said, we can rewind the video, love. I've already taken accountability for the whole issue.
Which shows Kendra G is not listening. He literally said this minutes ago, but she's not listening because she's already has him tuned out because there's no way in her mind that a man could be assaulted sexually.
You know, you hear people say like Kendra G's not that bright. She's not the sharpest tool in the shed. I think that she knows what she's doing here. She thinks that she thought that her audience and people were going to look at this and it will probably trigger engagement. And she didn't realize how she looks and sounds here and how hypocritical this comes across.
So let's just do this then. Let's on record deny that you were because you was not.
She was there.
I'll just say in a woman's eyes, no. But if I was to talk to a group of men and tell them what happened, it didn't happen to several dudes. We just don't talk about it. These are like stories we don't tell. Crip stories we just don't tell. But at the end of the day, my perception is my perception of what really happened. Only I and the person that had the child that up and decided to be a single mother, because a lot of times, you don't understand, if there are women striving out here to be single mothers, they do not want men in the picture.
Dan, listen, hold on real quick.
What's
Dan,
that?
I'm not disagreeing with her intentions, right? Maybe her intentions were to get pregnant by you, to stay in America. There's no disagreement there.
Right.
The intentions of what you're describing could very well be true. The disagreement is you claiming to have been.
Okay.
Like, that's the disagreement.
Would you keep the same energy for a chick? I mean, you have women out here who want to say, even if I agree consensually, in that moment, I can change my mind later on. And then you have the chicks who sit there and say, oh yeah, lying about your profession and what you do and your net worth is also graping, because if I would have known that you were broke, then I wouldn't have given up the cheeks. We all know Kendra does not have the same energy the other way around, right? She is dismissing this man's experience, and I don't know why men even continue to go on this show and actually take it seriously when the host is in the same position that she was in 2 years ago.
Discrepancy-wise, so I can give you so we can move on. I got drunk off my own supply of wine that I made, that I squished with my hands. You serve me wine, you force it down my throat, I get drunk. Now, every woman's story is if they get drunk and they get instantly the man is guilty, he goes to jail, lock away the key in the chamber of secrets. But like I said, in America, realistically, that will never be the man's narrative. And that's why pause. Let me finish. That's why
I'm not gonna let you finish because I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm jumping in because
sure.
You are telling the wrong story. When those women are using the example of they have passed out, right?
So, no. First of all, how are you going to tell that man what happened to him?
Bang! Bang! It's good!
How in the hell are you going to tell that man what happened?
That's a dope sound effect.
To him. You weren't there. And what Kendra G is trying to insinuate is that if you ever hear a story of a woman being with a man and having too much to drink, it's because she's passed out. She can't give his consent. That is a lie from the pits of hell. Women can turn around, have sex with a dude, had too much to drink, wake up the next morning and say, damn, well, I regret having sex with a dude. You don't have to be passed out unconscious.
Right.
You can just say, hey, I regret having sex with a dude. That was great now, even though it wasn't great last night when he was taking you to Pound Town. Or there doesn't even have to be alcohol involved. A woman could just say the very next day or hours later after having intercourse with a dude, she could turn around and say, well, no, I take that back. It was great. Kendra G is in certain scenarios that didn't happen. They're going to tell this man how he was assaulted. What?
I thought we all knew this, though. Maybe she is slow. Maybe I'm in denial. Comment down below. I thought we all knew this.
There are women that if they were drugs, they will say that they were not even coherent in the act of sex. They cannot.
I'm telling you that I wasn't coherent.
No, you are coherent because you told me exactly what happened. You told me she was on top of you. You told me that.
I told you I was on top of her. She put her legs around me.
Either way, you are telling me exactly what happened in the sexual activity. So you were not. You were conscious. So you can't use that as an example. And conscious, only thing you can say is if you don't remember nothing, and then that will still be hard because then it'll be like, how did you have an erection? But long story short, you cannot compare yourself to women who have been drugged because these women don't remember anything. You can recite
Quote
the
unquote.
actual.
No, quote unquote. That's what I'm saying. She's saying that shit is different. It's a fact. And also, Kendra G, he can still get an erection even if he doesn't remember it or all the other excuses you're
Quote
using.
unquote, Kendra don't remember anything. Anybody can wake up from consciousness during the act of something and completely fall back asleep. And when you go to court, like I said, it's her word against mine. Like I said, Kendra, at the end of the day, I'm not here to stir no pot. I'm not on here to stir the Yaya Sisterhood, Traveling Pants Club. We ain't here to do none of that.
My question is, why get hung up on this? Why is she so passionate about proving that this man's story is untrue? Forget the fact that we know this happens all the time, but why die on this hill when you really don't have anything to lose from this? You know, I don't get it. We know it wouldn't go the same way if there was a chick doing the same thing. We know that.
We
Facts.
just here to see if there's any honest women out here that can understand their brother's situation, because there's a lot of other brothers have been through the same thing I have. And I could be a bitter baby daddy, and I could be bashing her all over the world like most men would, but I don't have time to do that. I'm a progressive male. I done moved on with my life. She done got a whole nother man and is doing what she doing. So for me, we can all we can do is be adults about any situation and move past it. If we can't work what we got out, we'll pass.
Babe, we're gonna move forward with the interview, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Only a goofy woman is gonna reach out to you.
What? What? Wow. Wow. Oh yeah, she had to delete this video. Her true colors were showing right here. Only a goofy woman is going to reach out to you. Why? Because he opened up about being taken advantage of? Yeah, this is disgusting. This is disgusting. If you've ever wondered, why don't men reach out? Why do men bottle stuff in? Why aren't they open and honest about their experiences and how they feel? Thank chicks with the mindset like Kendra G. And you know what's worse than the deletion of the video? I think what's worse is that Kendra, what I've noticed from watching how she's interacted in the past, literally eating her own words, starting off with thinking that she's the prize and she can go out here and lock down a man, still being unable to do that. Well, how do you know she wants a man? She was just in a relationship and failed. And listen, I'm not talking about failed relationships are impossible. It can happen to any of us, me included. But with as much shit as she talks, you would think by now that she would at least be able to get a ring. At least a ring. I think what's worse isn't that she did this and then deleted the video. I think what's worse is that she did this, deleted the video, and I can almost bet that if I go on her channel, because I've never seen her do this before in the past, she did not explain herself and apologize to the men who've been victims, who were listening to this, who can relate, so on and so forth. If it's out there, send it to me. And I hope it's before the date that I actually, not just me, but everyone else who actually reacted to this, right? It's crazy. Moving on, this video is titled The Adult Industry, What I Wish I Knew Beforehand. Let's check it out.
Do not get into adult work until you watch this video. I know times are tough, depending on who you ask. However, that does not mean you make a decision that's irreversible based off temporary moments. Let's get into it. But before we do, give me a thumbs up. It's free to do. It helps me reach more people and it motivates me to make more videos like this. So did you do that? All right, let's go.
Okay, so this seems like I regret, doing adult content video. I don't know. That's where it looks like it's headed. One of my subscribers sent this to me. Let's check it out.
So we're live streaming anyways, and somebody in the comments was like, what made you get into adult work? I should get into it, huh? No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Long story short, I was going through a divorce, and at first somebody offered to help me get into the industry, another girl, and I wasn't ready. I actually looked down on dancers and adult workers because I was like, yeah, you don't love yourself. No one's ever gonna wanna date you. I, back in the day, was super Christian and therefore I was like super red pill. But don't worry, I've been delivered and deconstructed. I just never thought I would even be in the same room as any woman who would do that. Nonetheless, turn into that woman, but I did. So the first time around, I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. Who would wanna date me? I'm a woman of class. The second time around, when things are getting tight, the budget getting strict, you working 6 days a week and you still don't have enough money left over to pay all your bills at the end of the month. How is that possible, America? Then you realize, okay, I might have to give up my dignity and my morals for a place to sleep.
Mercy, it's hard out here.
I might have to. Then I audition at these places, and the first place they told me no. That was a heart attack because imagine everybody says, oh, I'm gonna quit my job and be a stripper. And they don't even hire you at the strip club. Like, oh no, what am I gonna do now? What will I do? The second club hired me though. Thank goodness they were understaffed for Christmas Eve. But how do we get into lonely bands? Again, I had a friend tell me, oh, you'll make so much money off just referrals. You don't have to do anything. I told her, no, I'm straight. But then I had another friend say the same things.
She said lonely bands. I think she's talking about, you know what, fans, just to clear that up.
So I started doing referrals first, and just like twerk videos, the same services that you would get in a strip club is what I was trying to give virtually. So I would tell everybody, oh, I'm running a virtual gentleman's club. And back in the day, this was unheard of. 2 months short of my 4th year anniversary as a dancer is when I finally gave into lonely bands. And I got so much backlash from the other dancers, even from owners and managers of adult clubs. Were like, why would you do that? Why would you put yourself online for people to see for $10 a month? Like, you can make so much, you can make $1,000 a night here. And I'm like, yeah, but if I don't have a BBL, if I don't have a big butt, if I'm not willing to do everything that these girls are doing, I'm a baddie, I really am. But I also know where I rank.
Adult content for 4 years. A 4-year degree in stripping is crazy.
Rule of life. Don't even try to compete if you're not the most passionate person. If you're doing something just to get by, you are competing against people who go hard for this. I can't. If I'm not passionate about something, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna compete. I'm not gonna even try because in the back of my mind is gonna be somebody who wants this more than me. There's girls that they do or die, and you're just not. You want to go home at 2 a.m. You ready really to get in bed by midnight. Okay, and nothing good happens before midnight in these clubs. So there's a big disconnect in, do I belong here? Finally, I get into the lonely band situation. Lucky for me, after almost 4 years, I was able to get a work from home version of this job because it was driving me nuts to have to do substances, drink, drive, deal with people under substances. It's a bit much. It can become a lot. So the work from home version is way better. I got into running my virtual gentlemen's club, even though I didn't receive like raving reviews from people who didn't understand the process of lonely bands yet and just online experiences. I was making money. But let's roll it back a little bit more because this whole entire conversation started with, should one of my TikTok live audience members get into adult work? I am not in the business of encouraging adult work to anybody who is not already in it. Most people make irreversible decisions based off temporary circumstances. So if you're having a hard time paying your rent this month, you don't want to change your whole entire life just to pay your rent for this month.
What a crazy generation we live in where chicks, I mean, take men out of this because there's no way. There's no way. No one wants to see you unless if you know you're gay or something like that. No one wants to see you taking your clothes off as a dude. But what a crazy time we live in where a woman can sit there and go, if I show my feet or if I take my clothes off and post it on a platform, I can make rent today. It used to be that the bar was a little bit higher than that, right? That you actually had to go and maybe sell your body. But now you can do it on platforms like OnlyFans. And that temptation is getting realer and realer with these chicks as they drop their standards and morals. Because we know they don't drink coffee.
No, I'll have a tea actually.
And this is one of the reasons why it took me so long to get in the adult industry was I had to come to terms with myself and the fact that life is going to change if you go down this path. So that's what this entire video is about. Ladies, do not join the adult industry until you make it to the very end of this video because you have no idea what you're in for. And even though you think, oh, I look good, that's so much. Oh my God, so many of my friends. Oh, I have a fat, I should do lonely bands. I look like this. I got nice boobs. I got a nice face. I look so nice. I would make so much money off of my body. Just because you have a nice body doesn't mean you know how to sell it. No matter how anybody breaks it down to you, it's a sales job. So if you hate sales, because I know a lot of people that's like, well, I hate sales. I don't want to be too salesy. Being an adult entertainer is the most salesy thing you can do.
You're selling your body. It makes sense.
And you're like personally attached to it because it's your body, it's your mind, it's your heart, it's your time. So you need to be a very good salesperson, 1. 2, you need to be a good people person. If you hate people, this ain't gonna be for you. You have to be able to be a good disarmer, especially when people are under the influence. If you get people from all types of walks of life, you know, I'm sure you get some crazy people that probably criminals coming into the club, coming into my virtual gentleman's club. I don't know they rap sheet. And that's why you have to be good with people because you don't know people be crazy. You can't just pop off because somebody said something degrading to you. You have to be able to go, so are we doing the dance or no?
I've seen this chick before. I think I've actually reacted to one of her videos.
I can come back. Would you like a drink? People will call you bad words. They will call you a slur. You need to be okay with that. You can't be fighting the system. I see so many adult entertainers that are unsettled with that. That's very triggering for them to be called derogatory words or to be told, oh, nobody's gonna wanna be with you. And so they try to fight the system and like prove I'm so smart, prove I'm worthy. No. The whole job is supposed to be a bimbification of you. I'll give you one piece of advice. If you do get into the adult industry, pick a stage name. My stage name used to be Lola, but because I had a YouTube channel before I ever started dancing, that didn't last long. People just started calling me by my normal legal name. Having a stage name is going to help.
That's crazy. So from now on going forward, following, because she says she was divorced, any man who she dates and wants to have any type of a healthy long-term relationship has to know that her name is attached to adult content. That's wild.
You separate the character and the public persona from the actual person behind the character. So Nina versus Lola. Lola maybe is those derogatory terms because that's marketable, but Nina is not. But to the outside in the world, they only see the one person who is all encompassing. It's the same person. So they're gonna call you, imagine I don't have a stage name, so they're calling Nina derogatory terms. And you have to know that, hey,
like Nina is a 304.
Nina is still a character and she's still a public persona. And then there's the personal Nina that other people don't know. So when they're saying these bad things and these mean things to me, they're not saying that to the personal Nina. They don't know her. They're only saying it to this character that they think or believe Nina to be. So this requires a lot of emotional maturity.
Sounds like it requires multiple personalities.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
I get the separation of brand thing, but come on, man. At this point, like when what you're doing is this polarizing and this damaging to your psyche as a woman, then if you can't be a 304, a literal 304 online and then just like clock out and go home and be like, okay, now I'm a regular person. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way with the way men view those type of women too, right? Most men.
To even get into this, because if you internalize it, if somebody calls you something and then you internalize it, or someone says, oh, you have father issues and you internalize that, or if you actually do have father issues, you're gonna think your whole life is due to your father issues, when in reality it's tons of people with father issues that are teachers, doctors, stay-at-home moms. There's no correlation to parental issues and adult work. Everyday regular people got mother and father wounds, but you have to be emotionally mature to understand that. Most people are not there. So this is a job that can change your mental. It could change the relationships around you. I do have guys that are like, oh, I would never date this type of person. But guess what? I would never date you. I don't want to be with somebody who wouldn't see me for me and understand that level of maturity.
So according to Nina Does the Most, maturity is being able to look past the fact that she's accumulated probably a lot of traumatic experiences by being an adult entertainer. Guys, she's saying this, not me, right? She's talking about, I've dealt with most likely criminals or all types of whack jobs who've come in and dealt with me. And on top of that, she's got a almost 4-year degree in stripping, and also it sounds like maybe OnlyFans. I think it's very wild to sit there and say men who can't separate the bodies I've accumulated my whole life. This is now we're moving over into most modern women today are somehow immature. Nah, stop it. These are the consequences of your decisions. I think it's good she's not encouraging chicks to do this, though. I think that's good.
But you gotta understand, it's gonna be people that don't want to date you. You gotta understand this is gonna change your life forever. Actually, I have a question for you. If you've made it to this part of the video thus far, I wanna know, would you date an adult model, an adult entertainer of any type?
Comment down below.
Yes or no, and why?
You know what? Let's check out a few of these comments. Let's see. And of course, we're looking for the guys. Top comment says, it takes an open-minded individual to understand the knowledge you just dropped. A lot of people only look at things one way and will always disagree. So most people, right? Next comment here by a dude says, I would not date an adult model or entertainer. No. I mean, she asked. This dude says, this was some good information. I think a good salesman comes with any business. Thanks for sharing. Let me see. Do we have any more comments from the dudes? This person says, not sure how I got here, but very insightful and well put. Here's another person who says, you're a great saleswoman. I want to know how many women bought that course, so click that link after the video. Excellent. Not only did you learn about men, you learned about women, the biggest consumers. Great work. The fact that you did that without a script is impressive. So did she's selling a course? Is she selling an introduction to adult entertainment course? I don't know. I'm just wondering. Stay in your daughter's lives. TikTok is the online space is a very dangerous place. You know, lots of knowledge to do the right thing to better your life and also to ruin it.
Part 2. Adult work is a charity job for humanity. It can be known as philanthropy. So in part 1, we discussed that your life is going to change. Some good, some bad. Obviously, you're going to have money if you do it right. But imagine you're a terrible entertainer. You're a terrible model. And so you make an irreversible decision. You can't take it back. And now your little intimate tape all over the internet, and people they didn't buy it. You didn't make money. Your financial status, socioeconomic status didn't change. But now you got this out there. See what I mean? Don't even try to compete unless you're actually passionate about it, because you will regret it. So moving into chapter 2, let's say you're good at this. You're good at being an adult entertainer, and now you start to see things that you didn't see before as a regular person in society. Over the course of 10 years or so, I have spoken with probably more or less about 500,000 men to gather data on what men like, how they think. I mean, I know everything about what they like down to what women wear.
500,000 men is crazy.
How they smell. Data collected that you would never get if you were just a regular person. You can't ask. I asked 20,000 people on my Lonely Bands yesterday or a couple days ago what their favorite smell was on a woman. You can't get that data anywhere else.
So she's still doing OnlyFans, it sounds like.
But also, when you know too much, you already know what happens when you guys know too much. We all know what happens when you know too much. It's not the same anymore. If you know too much about science, you no longer believe in religion. And who the hell, what is it? Hold on. Yes, it's a little loud. I'm filming right now.
That's her new man there in the back.
I'm filming. Oh, estoy grabando. Muchísimas gracias. Once you learn about the real needs of men, because a lot of times, especially when there's substances involved, men will open up to you. They will become vulnerable. They'll tell you their deepest fears, fantasies, what they want out of life. Once you are learning these men It's like studying a specimen. I've studied specimens so much to where I know how to make the earth a better place for men.
Do you think that P-stars are out here making the world a better place for men? I mean, they're definitely serving an industry, but I don't like the idea that adult content is philanthropy, like the way she's trying to make it sound. She's really reframed her whole situation as someone who's really helping men out. In the end, I think it does way more harm than good. No one has left an adult video, and we've all watched adult videos. You can sit there and act like, oh, I've never watched. We've all been there. No man leaves there thinking to themselves, wow, I'm so proud of myself for watching this. No one. And if you struggle with it, your goal should be to cut it off. It's not healthy for you. It does not help. It mostly sedates you, keeps you from actually going out and pursuing women. For most men who are these chicks' customers, they think they're doing them a favor, but really there's a lot of harm involved. I know she doesn't want to hear that because that would mean that what she's doing is wrong, but that's my opinion. I believe that's the truth. Let me know what you guys think down below.
So it becomes like a anthropology charity project to even clock in to work. How can I make these men feel better than when they logged on the computer? You learn
Give them some coochie for free.
that when you have that mindset, you actually make more money and then you establish better relationships with your clients and customers rather than just, oh, I need to run these, I need to break these men. You know, they be like, oh, I'll be trying to break these men. The women who say stuff like that, they're in survival mode. The women who've been doing this for a while and they are studying their craft, they're the ones like, my people are happy and I don't walk away until everybody's happy because I value their money. I value their hard work. At the end of the day, business is business and this is sales. I need good references. I need you to bring your homeboys, bring your actually in a better dating pool. People
Hold on.
make and if you get into it,
I'm trying to see if she actually sells a course.
crazy. You guys let me know in the comments if you want more talks like this. Stances, if you ever be in the same room as those girls. Pool got way better after I entered the adult industry. Way more affluent men. That is more of a trophy to them than politicians. All sorts of people in power who have had to make and write their own rules. They want to be with you because they understand the mindset of having to sell yourself. Especially entertainers, other entertainers understand what that feels like. Overall, my dating pool got way better after I entered the adult industry. Way more affluent men. That is more of a trophy to them than like a regular girl who doesn't do her makeup, who's like a kindergarten teacher. No offense to the girlies who are kindergarten teachers who don't do their makeup. But that is typically the type of woman that the middle class guys that care about their family approval, they want to take that home.
So they're not attracted to the teachers. They want the adult content creator. I see that. I mean, there's definitely a temptation for that. But listen, here's the thing. I hear her talking. But I've seen this chick before on other videos literally complaining about her dating situation and how terrible it is. Here, I could probably go to her TikTok right now. Right? She was like complaining about how terrible it is to date. Let's see. Maybe we could find something over here. This is her TikTok. I think I reacted to one of her videos, but she was complaining about how hard it is and men not approaching her. Let me see.
Hear ye, hear ye. You have now arrived to an official TikTok funeral. Here lies rest in peace to my 4-day romance that ended in a sharp ghosting session before I even got a second date. So sad because I had nothing but raving reviews for this man. Unfortunately, he has shown me how much of a he is because how are you gonna have me to a double standard? Ask me on our first date, when was the last time I was sexually active? When was the last date I went on? And when, if I ever got paid in exchange for ask me questions that were insulting as but
So it's insulting, but this is what she does for work. Guys, I clicked on a random video from like 2024. The dudes who she's trying to date are asking her if she's ever gotten paid for getting her cheeks clapped. And she says that was insulting.
you couldn't pass any of the questions when I passed them back to you. I said, oh, what about you? When's the last time you went on a date? This say yesterday.
My answer was 2 months ago. Your answer was yesterday, not even 24 hours. You was on a date 12 hours ago. So it's stuff like that. And then on top of that, you're going to try to ask me, oh, well, long story short, ask me about my babe. You the one with the kid. You the one that was starting and bopping, having love.
So she said that she was mad. He asked her about what she did for work, if she sold her body. Now she's talking about how he's the one with the kids, so he's been sexually active.
Love children around the city. I don't like it. I don't like people interviewing me to make sure I'm like pure enough or chaste enough for them. Meanwhile, you slinging the slong everywhere. So much so, in fact, that I tried to entertain conversation with you 3 days ago and you ignored me twice when I tried to entertain conversation. But you didn't ignore the fact that you accidentally FaceTimed me at 3 a.m. Why were you in your FaceTime call logs at 3 a.m.? Why are you even awake at 3 a.m.? But nonetheless.
This is what you have to look forward to all the chicks who watched that video and thought, okay, I'm going to give it a try. She is still out here following her divorce, going into stripping and adult content, and is struggling to find a man. Are we surprised? Are we surprised? No, we're not. No, we're not. The proof is right in front of you. This right here is the result of that lifestyle. And this is in 2024. I mean, she's still probably been complaining about dating and struggling. Here, dating update.
We have an official dating update. I said I wasn't going to do any of them again, but this one is deaded, so it's okay to share. Y'all.
Still struggling. Let's see. Yeah. Don't believe what you see online, man. It isn't as it usually appears. Moving on.
Like, why is all these Christian, all of them so, I mean, it's some women that really, that's on their list, cornball. That's in the list.
That's what they like.
For me, that wasn't on the list.
So a while ago, I released a video that was titled Christian Women Are Doomed. And that was a quotable from a lady who was pretty much saying, hey, Christian women are doomed. There was like 300 women to 3 guys at this dating event that we showed up to. And I was talking about how these chicks' dating standards are not only on par with, like, because you'd think that women in the church, they're not looking for more superficial things. But no, it's the same thing. They're just as delusional. And on top of all that, here we have a video of a chick who says she pretty much wants a Christian Pookie, a gangbanger who's actually saved but doesn't act like it. And this is her. I believe this is her husband or maybe her man. Here they're talking. Check it out.
I needed somebody who you didn't know if they were actually saved unless they opened up their mouth. When they walk down the street, like your eyes are yellow, your pants, you got hands, but you love the Lord. That's perfect.
Whoa.
That's perfect.
You made me sound like a straight drug addict. Your eyes is yellow, your
Not
pants.
a drug addict, a drug dealer.
So you...
Listen, these right here are the Christian women that you see on mics. These right here are the Christian women that you see who be asking for you to pay all their bills. These are the same ones who have a difficult time submitting to men, modern women. And they're in these feminist-led churches where they don't serve them any coffee whatsoever. She just says, I want a man who you can't tell he's saved, but he's saved in secret. Completely contradictory to like scripture. If you're somebody who values Christianity and you identify as being a Christian, you already know how crazy this actually is to hear from a woman who claims to be Christian. And if you don't necessarily value that, you can still relate and understand that dudes who are in the church or men who are looking for women who are spiritual and actually have standards and belief in God, well, they're dealing with the same thing, right? And this is not the only video I'm going to play to showcase that. Let's keep watching.
That's what I wanted. I wanted
What
somebody.
are you talking about?
I wanted somebody that probably sold drugs once upon a time, but they gave their life to Jesus.
So what does that do for you? Explain to the people.
I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to that.
So what?
Wow. I'm attracted to that. Let's read a few of these comments. Top comment says here, Jackie gets it. And so these chicks are agreeing with her. They're like, I also want a dude who whose eyes are yellow. They want him to look like all he does is smoke his eyes out. Here's someone else who says, this still doesn't make sense. This chick says, I want somebody that was once on the wrong side of the road, but now found the road of Jesus and is saved. This is the chick right here. Another person who says, she gets it, LOL. Here's somebody else who says, Jackie, play too much. Somebody else says, y'all, too deep for me. Let's see. So there are a lot of people on here who agree with this perspective. In this video, you have another woman. This is her right here. We're going to check out her video where she says, I want a Christian man, but they're all corny. Check it out.
I want a Christian man, but they just corny. No, not all of them, but some of y'all need to have more swagger. You know what I'm saying? Because like y'all, they got the word, you got the spirit. We got spirit. We got yay, good. But it's like I look at the
how does a Christian man get
I don't
swag?
know, but you know when you look over at the worldly man and you be like, oh, why do you walk like that and talk like that and smell like? But the Christian men they don't walk like that and talk like that.
Okay, so this could be a very deep conversation to have here, right? We can talk about why our men who are raised up in the church usually feminized to the point where they don't exude masculine energy. A lot, I think, of that comes from the fact that if they're Christian, and in modern Christian churches that already tilt towards being more feminist churches, right? They don't usually encourage men to stand up for themselves. They don't encourage men to take care of themselves physically. You know, they usually teach them to be more of that nice guy approach. I always say Jesus was not a nice guy. If Jesus was a nice guy, then they wouldn't have killed him. That's just the truth. Jesus did not come to this world to aim to be nice. In fact, if I remember correctly, there is a certain scripture that reads, I did not come to bring peace, but the sword. Jesus in his day was not looking to please people around him for the sake of just pleasing those people and receiving validation from them, but was there for the will of God. And I think a lot of men grow up being taught to please women and to not stand on principles, what they believe, and they don't prioritize taking care of themselves, right? That's definitely one aspect you can look at this at, and I see this a lot with dudes who grow up in the church. With that being said, if you're a guy who is looking for women of faith, then chicks with this type of mindset, just don't even waste your time with these women. Believe it or not, what she's saying, this young chick right here, is the same reason why a lot of even the elder women in church, the elderly women are single till this day. There are a lot of them in there single, getting run through. And some of them are just waiting. You know, this idea of swag and being cool and, you know, women being like, oh, he's not street enough is really huge in the black community, especially. This is why a lot of those men date out. I saw it happen. Especially in the black community, you have a lot of chicks who worry too much about how street someone is or how cool someone is. When you get into the real world, bro, none of that shit matters. What's cool is being on your shit. What's cool isn't typically what pays the bills. What's cool isn't what brings money to the bank account. This is why a lot of men are leaving dating, not just in the church, but even outside of this. Let's read a few comments here. Mind you, this post here has 50,000 likes. Top comment says, she wants Tupac Shakur Christ. Somebody else here says, I think an example of MOG who aren't corny are Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell or Pastor Charles Metcalf. They're MOG, men of God, I think she's saying, but definitely not corny. That's just my opinion. I completely get what you mean. Then just be by yourself. Just be by yourself. Just be by yourself. There are a lot of men who actually will marry women outside of the church because women outside of the church aren't too worried about, and what I mean is just because they're not necessarily in the church, it doesn't mean that they are not Christians, right? But the chicks in the church who are talking like this, you're there because maybe you were just raised there. You don't actually know your scripture that well. You're prioritizing things wrongly. You don't understand what actually will equal a long-lasting relationship, marriage, which is what they claim they want. This is what they claim they want. Somebody else who says she wants a Christian man who isn't awkward, stiff, or socially out of touch. Somebody else who added she wants a man of God that's been battle-tested by the world, not a church boy who grew up in religion. Here's another person who says, never satisfied. Another person who says, I definitely understand a Christian man who also doesn't make it their whole personality. I could see that. The only problem I have with the whole battle-tested and been in the world, sold a little bit of dope, is that's just idiotic. That's idiotic. If we're talking about like real Christianity here, is you're telling me that God had in mind for his daughters, right? The women in his church to wait for men to stumble, fall back into the world, dope, go sell dope. That's his plan, right? Is go marry somebody who went back and did some terrible shit and then came back and that's who you find attractive? Or is it also most likely that a lot of these chicks are used to dating dudes, like they're acting like they don't mess with the dudes outside the church, but that's what they like. That's what they're used to. And they go to church for show, right? That there's some form there of godliness, but it's not actually real. Overall, the reality is the end of this story is all the women you see in the church right now who don't have husbands and will take anything, but it's too late. Then you have this video right here.
Never could have made it without.
So it says, me and my friend praying for a God-centered relationship, but thinking men of God are corny, right? And so the same way you had that moment when people were talking about Michael B. Jordan being corny and why they weren't attracted to him back in the day. And then finally he got popular, but some women still don't find him attractive because they think he's too corny. Same thing we see here happening in with women in the church, which still proves the whole point of my last video titled Christian Women Are Doomed. Of course, I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Comment down below. Moving on.
I've been trying to tell y'all, I be leaving right where they have me at, and it's not a game. It's not a joke. I just let the side of the street. I don't give a
Why?
Quick story time, because I'm just so blue. Like, is it time for me to retire? Do I need a dating hiatus? Because what the I got going on, for real? Actually, I got some pretty good plays. So
these chicks have become experts in dating.
I shouldn't have been out here. That's my first mistake. I should have been at the house. So I go on a date with this guy tonight. He's like, oh, let's go bar hop. Kind of already like not into that because I just don't drink all that much. Like I can only really one drink, two drink. You know, I don't really need to hop, personally me. But I haven't been out in a long time. It's not too cold out, but it is windy as fuck. I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's go. Like, I'm in, let's do it. And I was pressed to try my new makeup products that I bought in my haul. If you watch my haul, I was pressed. I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna put a little face on, let's go. Now we were on FaceTime before we were like supposed to meet up, and he was just checking in to see like if I was like getting ready on time, because I told him like I might be ready at this time, I might be ready at that time. Either way, I'm gonna let you know. So he called me, I actually was damn near ready. So we're just talking at this point. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I be blaming other women because I feel like if y'all would shut shit down, this shit would not be still happening. Why are niggas still negging? Why are niggas still negging? I'm not understanding why niggas still negging. So he's like kind of doing that, but like I'm quick. So like,
so if you don't know what negging is, it's just like making fun of somebody lightly on a date. A lot of chicks say they don't like that.
I kind of really don't mind. I might let you get one or two off, but I will like real quick like give you a little jab to let you know like slow down. You're up. Honestly, talk too much and they f themselves up every time. That's really what it is for me. Shut up sometimes. So we're on the call and he's like talking about my forehead being big, which that's fine. I have always had a cranium, big brain. But y'all also know that I had weight loss surgery. So like my hairline literally fell out. So like, bitch, you're dragging it a little bit too. Shut up. And so I'm like, oh, but also I don't make it a secret that I had weight loss surgery.
Right.
It's not a secret at all. Like this is very public information about me. So this was my first like red flag. But at this point, I'm already dressed, so like I'm gonna go. So I'm like, oh, I had weight loss surgery, so you know after that my hairline fell out, but you know it mostly grew back. But yeah, like my forehead was already big, but like my hairline is like 1.5 inches, like further back than what it used to be because I had weight loss surgery. Do you know this gonna say, oh, I thought you lost weight in the gym?
Why are you calling him a B? Why are you calling him a B? This woman disrespects men. So she said I had weight loss surgery, and he responds and says, oh, I thought you lost weight in the gym. That's it. Pretty decent response. I don't see what's wrong with that.
Well, I do go to the gym. We talked about that. I go to the gym. I did lose some weight from going to the gym, but no, like I needed medical assistance. But, you know, I just didn't like how you said that, but I can let it slide because, you know, maybe it's me. You already talking about my hairline, so maybe it's me at this point. So there's like little jokes here and there throughout the night. And I'm like, at one point, I'm like, yeah, I don't really like when they're gonna try to bully me into liking them. I like sweet to me. So like, just stop where you're here. You're talking too much. You're cute. You're tall. You got a nice smile, but you need to shut up, literally. So this is where the night kind of like, it's going smooth. We get to the bar. We get to the first bar, and he's new to Charlotte, so he's just like taking me places that he likes to go. But y'all know I be outside, so I'm just like, okay, do you want to chill or do you want to go outside? Like, what do you want to do? He's like, oh, I want to chill. Cool. So I'm cool with the places you want to go because that means I don't have to really put clothes on. So like, yeah, we can go to Slingshot. I don't give a. So we go to South End or whatever. So we're at Slingshot, chilling, vibing. But I have to pee bad as. And I don't think I like Slingshot's bathrooms. I don't remember. I've only used the bathroom one time there. But I'm like, you know, I don't really know if I want to use the bathroom over here. Let's go to Cloud because I know that Cloud's bathrooms are clean. So I'm like, all right, let's go to Cloud. Mind you, the whole night, he's like joking like, oh, you don't really be outside. Like, you be at lame places. This is my city. I don't know what to tell you. We get to Cloud. They don't even ask for my ID. So I'm like, hey, girl. Hey, this is my city. So we go to Cloud. We use the bathroom. Now, he already had my like ears perked because at the first bar, I felt like he was hesitating to put his card out. I don't like that. I could have stayed at home. First of all, I don't have no card with me. So I really don't hope you don't think I'm gonna pay for something because I don't have no card.
I'm gonna be really honest right now. I honestly believe that for most men, I could go as far as say women as well, but in this situation, I don't know how a woman would respond to this, but I know how men think. If this is a man who you actually thought he was physically attractive and he took care of himself and he thought that you looked physically attractive as well, right? And he believed you take care of yourself. And he found out that you lost weight through surgery and not the actual discipline. And this is not saying that don't go out and do what you believe you should do to lose weight. I'm just being honest. I think the points kind of went down. I think she thought things were going smoothly. And at that point, he lost a little bit of respect for her with pursuing that surgery to lose the weight. What do you guys think? Comment down below. But here she's talking about he's hesitant to pay for the date. Let's keep listening.
So I get to Cloud. I go to the bathroom. This want to drink without me. So I'm like, okay, well, I only came to use the bathroom anyway, so I'm not that pressed. Like, we can go to the next bar. I just want to use the bathroom. So we're going to the next bar, and he's like, oh, I want to go to this place. I want to go to this place. I want to go to this place. I'm like, okay, well, let's stop at Must Be Nice, formerly Lost and Found, because I'm just like, well, they drinks is cool. Like, they drinks is cool. The music be a little hit or miss, but, like, we already on this side of town. Like, we might as well go to one of the more popular places.
See, and now you're entering into your masculine energy, which you've been in this whole video. You want to take over the date. He's telling you, let's go to this place. You want to, this is my city. Let's go here. Let's go. You're taking over. Chill, relax. Act like it's your first time. Don't act like this is what you do, even though we know it is. All these chicks are professional daters. Professional daters out here in these streets.
And he's like, no, I want to go to this place in particular. I'm like, okay, like, are you talking about this place? Like, because there's like multiple bars in between where we're coming from and Must Be Nice. So.
Yes, sir. What would you like? Yes, sir.
We're like, he's like, no, I'm talking about Sycamore. I'm like, Sycamore? First of all, it's a brewery. I say, listen, you trying to take me to many white people places. That's not me. That is not me. But on top of that, that's a far walk from where we're at. Like, that's not close to where we are. Like, let me see in her map how far it was. Honestly, I don't go. I know where it's at. It wasn't that close. Mind you, this whole time I've been saying, like, I'm cold. Like, I'm cold. When I'm drunk, I be more cold. Like, I don't be, does get cold. She does. So I'm like, oh, like, Sycamore's really far. Do you know this nigga turned the and said, so do you really go to the gym or not?
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Wow. Put her right in her place. You're complaining about walking all over the place. And you know what? I said this at the very beginning. I said, you know, now you're complaining about walking too far, but you got a fit body. How'd you get that body? It all started with you revealing how you lost that weight in the very beginning. And then you've got the masculine energy and you're fully tapped into that.
Y'all, if I had a wig on right now, I would literally pull it off for dramatic effect. I was like stopped dead in my tracks because he's walking like a little ahead of me because it's like kind of crowded. I stopped dead in my tracks like, good night. I literally said good night. And I turned and went and got my car, and now I'm back home. Because who the f*** you talking to? Shut the f*** up sometimes. Y'all talk to. And my thing is,
he talks too much. Men talk too much. This is the chick who's telling him he talks too much.
I don't know. Like, maybe I felt like I was making you nervous or something because I felt like he was already bothered because he was on the phone. This video's getting long because I'm still a little drunk. But I could tell he was getting bothered. We was on the phone. I'm like, yeah, I'm the funnier one between the two of us. So you kind of don't want to get into a joke off with me. And he's like, you really think you're funnier? Yes, I'm fake laughing and you're cackling. Yeah, I'm funnier. And that's okay. More of the story, learn to shut the sometimes because I swear to God, every bad date I've gone on is because I don't shut the up when I've given him multiple signs to shut the up.
This is a masculine woman. She wants you to go on a date and be quiet. You didn't miss out on anything. Chances are he just wanted the cheeks. Anyways, let's read a few of these comments. Top comment here says, I wouldn't have made it further than the phone call as soon as you're mean, it's over. Somebody else here added, they're so weird with that nagging shit. Like, sir, I already peeped 300 icks about you, but I'm trying to give you grace. Somebody else here added, they think being mean is funny. Here's another person who says, I like my men to be quiet. You know, that's a good tip. It is true that talking less on a date, especially for dudes who a woman already finds attractive, will only work against you. Because you got to remember, a woman on a date is literally thinking of reasons to not give you a chance to her body and to her life. This is biology. That's how that mating dance goes, right? And there are a lot of dudes who talk too much and talk themselves out of it. But if you're dealing with somebody who's just plain insufferable, then that's just somebody who's just being plain insufferable. Listen, guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Leave your comments and thoughts down below. To my soon-to-be married and currently engaged men, head over to fathershaverights.com and access the #1 guide to drafting a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement 100% free using offer code REVIEW. That's fathershaverights.com. Appreciate you guys. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.